Let's move on to your possession.
Okay.
And tell us what you chose as an item or possession.
This was a hard one for me because I'm not a big possession person. We joke about this in my home. My husband says that I'm really hard to shop for because I don't really like a lot of things. Like I'm not a car person or I don't have a whole lot of jewelry. Like I'm just not really I don't gravitate toward material stuff that much. But I have this collection of shells. So my husband and I honeymooned in Tanzania, and we ended the trip in Zanzibar, in this little island off the coast of Zanzibar. And we used to take walks around this island, tiny little island. Oh, the only thing on it is this little resort. And I would collect shells, and I have them in this beautiful glass vase in our bedroom. And I think maybe it has something to do with how much I love the ocean. It has something to do with how much I loved that week, the 2 happiest weeks of my life outside of anything having to do with children or my honeymoon and hosting SNL. Whenever I look at that collection of shells, it reminds me of the space that we gave ourselves to start our life together as a couple in this really sacred way, having this sort of very private, secretive wedding and then just jumping off into this very remote place to really begin our lives together. I love that. I love that jar. It always makes me feel so grateful for the life that I have.
I feel like if my wife said to me, I'm going to bring these shells home, I would just be like, oh, God.
That's exactly right.
Tell me, you basically got married in secret.
Yes.
You didn't wear an engagement ring.
No, I used to pin my engagement ring to my undergarments because I loved my ring so much. So I would sleep in it at night. And then in the morning, I would pin it to my undergarments so that nobody knew we were engaged.
Why so secretive? Obviously, Namdi was NFL cornerback. This is a high profile wedding. Tell me about your wedding day and what you remember of it.
He was a really crazy time in his career. He had a groundbreaking, record-breaking contract that he had just walked through, and he had been in 3 or 4 Pro Bowls. Top. When I met him, he was on the cover of Sports Illustrated, and I was on this hit show. It just felt like there was a lot of public energy around our careers, but we kept our relationship very private when we were dating. I think mostly because we just wanted to protect ourselves and each other. I think it's really hard when people have a lot to say about your relationship. And I had been in a really public engagement that when it ended, I was in the unfortunate position of being on the cover of a bridal magazine. And it was a magazine that came out quarterly. So for 3 months, I walked around sort of, and I thought, I think I'm done talking about my personal life in the public.